Okay, so this will show you how to have the equation appear with the numbers updating. So I'm going to quickly create my construction with the sliders. So I'm in the teacher software and I've inserted the equations. I went to actions, insert slider, and I've changed the variable to m since my equation was m times x. I'm going to set the initial value to be 1. The minimum value will be -5. The maximum value will be +5. I'll make it go up by 1. I'll change the style to vertical. Horizontal takes up less space, but vertical. And then I'm going to minimize it. And there's our slider. I'll move that into the top left out of the way. So now I want, when we change the slider, as we know, this isn't going to show us the updated equation. So the way we did that is we split the screen, and I made it a horizontal split. And in the bottom portion, I'm going to add a notes page. And so I'm going to leave this, I'm going to play around with the division between the split and the second, but I'm going to leave this so that we can see everything I'm doing. So I'm going to type in the equation the way I want it to look. So I might actually italicize this and change it to the TI-Nspire font, and I'm going to go y equals. So that's text. Now I want to insert a math box, and so I can go to Insert on the left hand in the toolbox, and there's a math box, but also I could press Control M, that's the shortcut for a math box. I want this math box to contain the value of m, the slope of the line. So I'm just going to type in the letter m, so notice it's bold, so that means it's a stored variable. I'm going to hit enter. Now notice it says m, and there's an arrow showing that m's value is currently 1, and as soon as I hit enter it goes to the next line. I'm going to backspace so I can get back to that one line. So now if I change the value of m, it's updated in the math box. Now to clean this up, I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to right click in the math box. I'm going to change the math box attributes to show input output. I don't want that. I'm going to hide the input so we only see the output of the math box, which should be the value of m. Now nothing happened because I'm still in the math box, but if I move outside the math box, so just clicking outside, I just see the 0.9. Now I want the rest of the equation the way it looks. So I want the letter x, so it's still, and there we go. I can change the color of the math box, so notice it's in red. So if I highlight everything in the math box, right click, go to color, and change the text color, I can change that to black. And so when I click out, it's now in black. So let's test it, and there we have it. So I can see the equation. Now there are some other things. When it gets to 0 here, you're going to see 0x. So there are some things you can do with conditions to fix that. And if you want to see me do that, I'll do that in a second. I'll do that with, I'm going to add a slider in a second for the vertical intercept. But just to clean this up, I could change the division so I could see the graph a little bit more. I might want to move the equation centered a little bit, so maybe hit the space bar and move it like that. So I hit add in a whole bunch of spaces. And the last thing is I want to hide the label on the line because this right now isn't giving the students anything. So I'm just going to right click on the equation and just hide that. So that's the finished construction. So that was completed with math boxes. Now if I want to insert a slider for, say, the intercept, I'm going to get my equation back and put plus b for the second slider. The equation should disappear because b doesn't exist. I'm going to insert a slider for b. Its initial value I'll make 0. From -5 to 5 with a step size of 0.1. Maybe I'll leave this one horizontal, minimize it again, hit OK. So there's my slider for the vertical intercept. So if I now click on that, I can change the vertical intercept of the line. Now, going back to my equation, the bottom part, I'm just going to change the division so there's a little bit more real estate here. I want to add in the rest of the equation, so I put a space plus, and then another math box. So again, Control M or go Insert Math Box, put B, and hit Enter. Goes to the next line, backspace that out, and then hide the input on my math box. There. And it's done. And again, I can change the color on the math box so it's black as well, so the whole equation is black. Sorry, that's not what I wanted. I wanted color. There it is. Text color. And I'm going to select black, click outside. Oh, I think I didn't hide the input on that. Let me check that again. Oh, I did. Okay. There we go. Now, the only problem with this is when I change the value of b and it's negative, I've got 0.5x plus negative 0.08. And that's not a major thing. I think you might want to talk to the students about, okay, what that means, plus a negative. And it's, but if you would like to clean that up, you can. I'm going to make it positive. Make the value of b positive. When it's 0, you're going to see a 0. There, so you see plus 0, and when it's positive, okay, that looks nice. You can add some conditions so that the plus sign changes to a minus sign when the like in the right instance. So if you want to do that, it's going to be in a math box. So I'm actually going to go to the next line in my notes page and just show you what that would look like. Just center that nicely. So on the next line, I'll just show you how to create a math box with conditions. So I'm going to Control M. There's my math box. I'm going to go to my templates in the Documents toolbox, and I'm going to select the piecewise template right there. Okay. I want a 3-piece piecewise template, and so I want a plus sign to appear when the value of b is positive. I want a negative sign, a minus sign, to appear when b is negative. And then maybe I don't want anything to appear when b is 0. I don't want to see anything. So I'm going to use quotations, and I'm going to put in minus. So I want to see a minus sign when b is positive. Sorry, when b is negative. So there. Okay. When b is 0, I don't want to see anything. So I'm going to put in the the quotation again, and I'm going to hit the space bar. Okay. And so I put a space in that field, and that's going to be when b is 0. And I want to see a plus sign. So again, quotation, put in the plus sign when b is greater than 0. And so this math box will change based on whatever the value of b is. So I'm going to hit enter and execute that. It goes to the next line, so I'm just going to backspace, and there we go. So notice that b right now is positive, so you can see the plus sign. That's the output. I'm going to hide the input. Actually, maybe I'll leave that for a second so you can see the behavior of this. So when I make b 0, we should see nothing. Now this little warning indicator, we can get rid of that. If I right click on the math box, go to math box attributes, down to the bottom here, I can show the warning indicator or hide it. And I'm going to do that. There. So now I don't see that little warning indicator. Now let's make it go negative. And you can see I see the subtraction symbol. So 0 and then the plus sign. So I could take this entire math box and use that here. I'm just going to hide the input. When I did the copy paste, I lost that. So I'm going to hide the input. Or actually, I don't think I did that at all. And there we go. So now if I make it go to 0, nothing, it disappears. And when it goes, now notice though, this creates a problem with my b, because minus negative 0.1 isn't actually the equation. So for my b value, I can create conditions that make it look a little better. So maybe I'll actually get rid of this math box, put in a math box for my B value, and make it a piecewise one. 3 pieces. So what do I want to see when the B is negative? I just want to see the value of it. So I'm going to multiply the value of when B is negative, multiply it by -1. So I'm going to make it negative B. So when B is negative, what should happen is I'll see minus the value of B, even though B is negative. Go to the next field. Well, when it's 0, I actually don't want to see anything. So I'm going to put in that space. Okay, so that was quotation. I hit the space bar. And so that means when B is 0. Now when B is positive, I just want to see B because I should see the plus sign and then the value of B. And then I'm going to hit enter. It executes it. And right click on this. I'm going to hide the attributes. Sorry, I'm going to hide the input. And there we go. And now when I right click out of the box, there's my nice math box. So now I see the value of B. Now let's see what happens when it goes to 0. So I shouldn't see anything. Now this warning indicators from the second math box, I can hide that. I'll do that in a second. But let's make it go to positive, and there we go. So let me go to this one. Click in here. Hide the warning indicator. So we won't see anything at all when it's 0. We'll just see the value of the math box. We'll just see the value of the slope, and that's it. So it looks a lot nicer. The only other thing I do to clean this up is I would highlight everything in this math box, change the color to black. Do the same thing with everything in the math box that represents the symbol. And there we go. And now, maybe center it a little nicer. Change the division down as small as I can. And so now, it looks exactly the way I want it to look. So if the B value is negative, positive, and that's it. So again, it was all accomplished using math boxes. If you don't want to get complicated with the conditions, then just use the math box and put in the plus sign as we did earlier. But if you want to make it look really nice with the conditions, I showed you how to do that there.